Pia kigumwa chumweda television ando zia sobeda no chinga gicha bene ko kwarigania sigi karogito kyabona mambia anekera bagani ba ne osibaito baikire asu studio semambi yaboni kato jukwana mange anena bana nigo balasi jirusa dora mayana keraba chirika nigo baromo sigo asa baiboli ose abaiboli nabatakere ko balenda ase chinga kejiga nimbata baganya batum kabisa omaito manyi kiromodo jaro kwani italia de dimba kwani kyara n'abantaba nebale kabisa achukwana maleta kunna iliwa kwali ganiko kunyina turasensema y'ibitandao Facebook tunaleta TV ga sensema ya YouTube na tunaleta TV kwa hiyo na ututumira uchumbe yao kudrasa namba ya 0735333000 0735333000 na namba ya studio asemambio na kirboso bachukwane kina bionso yago jira zinjira bene utakore biro ndetse bari baga batukwani asemambi yaboniga kutegera ututumira uchumbe yao na kioro cy'abana bareka nande inyora mambya batedena nane timedina bana babungete school ji secondary icyo boroswe baraso asokoro bagana wachen timanyeti agidende toro jenone nikyo bikabanya nyimbo mbara tibene badana yo motana bato bosuburu kurokana kulende asobo suburu kwao bokwerera oboyonde no bogochake tumaitike kare mambya kulende tusabenya saya atubwire byonse tujukwana mange mu university ngo chibaswabale so mutinyu gyanda ayonse tujakwana semambia boniga ono tigatu chake kurwa soko bokukwane kokobe kabisa ali Julius Julius bogaratu dewiya sitamoro kibageni tuchake semambia karibu sana kibageni ile tatiyo robosi
Biamono Brighton, biamono sana Brighton. Nesa marita ngoro kubona Jairus Kabagendi. Nda munyagitari bo bachenu bwa Kabongo na ndende murayo bikombe katalia serikali kikoro kubona Million Hugs.
Million Hugs.
Yes.
Biya sana Million Hugs na nde ngigole munyagitari bo Bongo.
Afya ya kiakili.
Afya ya kiakili. Tema sare getumano kwa kibageni kusubado bieto.
Ndole nimechanda, ndubade ndali meke.
Yes. Karibu sana ene tati borobosi.
Mbuya mona sana.
Biya sana ndi bano tigangende ase umwana dada tubade biye kase panel ya lero. Tuate medamo ngana chenda sana timeti kusere kyara tebe karibu sana madam ene tati borobosi. Karibu sana.
Mbuya mono Brighton.
Yes.
Nkoro ku Dr. Magdalene Gesare Magangi. Njeno mwalimu eskuru ya Cardinal Lutunga High School, yes. Musocho. Na inde njene expert oyo gender and recently I launched an organization ekoroku chit chat with Dr. Meg. Yes.
Yes, Dr. Magdalene Gesare. Yes. Doctor. Akaro wote wabona Dr. kabisa. Nyagitari wote sindani ko Dr. Masomo.
Dr. Yamasomo, nsomere tamangana gender and development studies at PhD.
Aneno monto abantu abange ekarwa ukwana gender. Bamaide na gender na baswati. Akira de gender na baswati is gender and twins.
Gender and twins, male and female. And it is more of the roles and wasenda telling a social cultural roles chirichire ascribed. Ichibona chigo chachi determining abono etore male or female. Yes.
Kira baswati mone mu kwegera na gender forum na baswati. Ngwega tudo kwana yo mange.
Yeah, that's a misconception.
Mwegera abana banyaruka sana. Timeti usai ko champion rates chapa bra ko troto dem. Nani danyo ne daktari ukibo to kwanya simambiro kabisa daktari.
Minto mwanya etinge mwesi asimaiga. Abagaka abana kisokoro cy'abana bari barenga bagiye gusa abana bari muri kase gusa mwese n'abakwanira ibyo muri Elieta ku Dr. Kipo Walter Bichanga igonde umworokereria ase University ya Jomo Kenyatta University of Agriculture and Technology urusani wa gusiga aliastole umoja elimu center lakini wethani yo nende kurarigiriya amangana yo umwana umura abasente boy champion.
We are boy child champion. Aswati rotoro ko bege.
8 minutes nani bati boko muna baswati lakini lende igongota na umwana umura tatakiriye bumagika baswati pagendera tena na botote bagendera lakini na umwana umura ngotara bumagika na kia karango nyakuranga umura tukira
maiga buya sana asuko chakira asingenjo tukwanda mangana y'ikisabiriko ya rero ndigate ko base daktari tumakwera nane daktari ngana university ya waterega senior lecturer abono nade ankindra boso abone wasoro ne Nyamira University ngochika liberandi rosa uli university kanyiko bitora abantu bakumusana Nyamira enende kyabonyo ekimanga ngira kwani uri kumusana loko kero muri wensa uri na baratare end time from now
dia mano Brighton egente kan dawote ngalina ntu na Kenya ntu rwandete zuye kurunga demokrasi na demokrasi kwa kiru muntu libaga dio kwegera busuri ukwane kene kiyaye na kega no je spai batwa libaga yo bana na barba demonstrate esenge dibatu bali research site with some factors so ekyo na kie egente kan ndeke asesemo ya yete Nyamira agwaso konyora abantu bandi bafiritinga utange university eyirukia bonyo abandi batanga ya na itegwena tukana kya bonyo bwena tukubwa sana but nigonda nyale ko bagingo boriga abantu baitu democracy no nyekeroro intuna mwanya gitinge na botara basako misconceive ekwende ya democracy ose to misuse egento kirekia nigongo sorra eviongozi beitu Uruase urusagero lirwa Nyamira you can also borrow even Kisi County yakwera chi county chinyingi buna pomet chitabwata ko mu ebaye chi university kale chi ka among other several other counties esengi jo okumusana no kutabetoro igonto basego kumusana mono twebe the end goal tutayete ne university ejo konya abantu baitu tiga to chamo borrow the leaf kurwa abantu no era baki bakurukisi aiga nduwa the professor kinyinge mono kurugusi aiga abantu abandi bakore university myake menge kurwa iga gusiba le university au kinsemo au kia Kenya ni kisemo au kinzi let them come together to agree ngoni nama ngana yugo motore what is sufficient egere a university nyare ko yibwanchego to university
pesa na magadan daktari ngina ora kwa about the university because liberally did sana and the Nyamis what can you say?
I think the opportunity is perfect. Na inde sometimes umaete na to engage in politics chianka paka to lose some very good things that are coming to us. In my view, abantu baitu ba Nyamira should settle on the ground at the university. After all, it is already in the county. The only issue is where they need to settle so that funds chichibwango a university yebe set up. Abana na bange ba graduate ba kuru high school bone baga nitikuba kuba distributed to all these institutions. Na abantu baitu bagusimba bwate all the skills, mbabwate all the manpower. We are ready to handle even that university when it comes. The sooner the better. Yes.
Yes, na boki bagenda komenta sitting anelio tumagusukuja system kwende aso mjadala wetu ya lero wanyero ikora sema ya maso abutunda akiruji anda baraye baje kutura chinsa chintingi gori ngani
ndo chenga separation ya baraye na rekore to machando na Dr. Kibate abakira to go chamo nigi bintu bigo chabigo takonya zaidi igonga tinga structures inchiro constitution nero structures inchiro onye public participation na bego koro abantu ba chama batenga etubugata se agana na tigango tokore analysis torainza kobekaga ngakira torainza kobekaga ngakira epwento kobegento kire raisi ndelio ogosangarikana kobe kwa raisi yani ntutwara separation ndelio university na ndete koraki teto itasengenjo ne ko chango chere no byayo bunge chigasinchiro amasomo ngomente kanale I mean we have abantu basomete kabisa daktari oyo bayo resources sinchiro igobono tikatoba bangaini tubeka namo ndiri tubanga resources chacha uchaga to the grassroots level chichokonya watana ko gongo to konya pi no choru nenga tigeirukia bonyoru at the end of the day ase gocha ne county gocha na ndengo konyera abantu be county bonds
biesa bono ekro diskuru jibungirega kibage ababuli abange ba chandigitive nengere kera diskuru jibungire ne bade no jasa bajo waside jinga kya wiro de ke komenta bana ba
njebuna nkorora nili bagali nene sana ligi ya sawa iboli okora kikonyara ko connect na bana babo asega siane njebune psychologist ngonyora nda baibuli kera bana babo baikire miaka 15 miaka 15 around 14 15 konyora moibuli tamait mwana ya konya kwibuli bono ngakia beirega igodi bagali nchingora nga ekera ikire holiday nili bagali giya dio moibuli usanga no mwana kumamanya na ande kero kende tokota nga social issues nyinga tutwara me chande menga tokotwara some of them ekurwase family structure kireta bangiri boronge ega karabana balenga neli bagadi naligi yaso moiboli ko connect na bana ko sanga na barabu ende liyo nyara ko bono nya guidance ili baboneta ko konyora kurwaso moiboli onyora libageli yoko ba guidance yeyo uyo sana kwega tole tutera na baibuli papa taribaga no chumi ura yako ngire ga chumi ura jo twara libaga yandera na as Dr. Magana ni abaibuli abanke ba metra bana banyaruka kulingana na bona abana baleka bana banyaruka no ba hotel bale endangered species no agirna njena abana banyaruka ko bategere kulindwa asinga ki bale rusa kero dena batoro bulito ni bakaba murabeba baromba kuburweri kugatara daktari nera atutebina barabaronga kipako barasinga sense myanyaruka
Mbia mono abaibuli abange batemire sana asoko mentor asoko guide abana baba banyaruka kurukale nonyeri titwalenga abana there were of course cases here there zikwari konyoru mwana ago sleep na ndo onyoro bolito no nyembo no kisi county ga tora at 14% pregnancy rate meaning there are still very many young girls akari who conceive when they are still minors and that is still an issue of concern ega zinerororo orocha baibuli abange mbalinga bago chama bage ndega zibaira na maroba abana baba youth they don't need a whole day to go out there and do anything they just need a few minutes ago soka igana ndega koirana she could easily get pregnant in the course of that. So there is still some work to do. But as a Bible very strict, very strict. Na inde bako make sure nga abana babo mbaba bekirete maybe the right measures. Abo bonongo chabale bakonya abana. Interestingly, na boko nyorumu ibuli yori extremely strict. Ulio mwana ata breathe lakini akipata mwanya kidogo hivi kago soka nende usarikire. But that does not mean that umwibori must not be strict. Abana, but that is why they are under our care until the age of 18. So that you protect them, you guide them, you give them the right course of action to take. Eba protect abana aba mbacha gusareka. They are still minors. Yes.
Pesa daktari word. Abibori batende baga yapo asabana babo. Tebira bona abibori madake yote kiribaga asaba. Lakini bateke aningigi kubairira abataranya libaga asabana babo.
Ndiye mono Brighton. First of all tianda ansiraga.
Yes.
Even to talk about parenting, need to get very unique. Na parenting, you sometime I can have to talk with you. When you talk very keen, you might make a very big mistake. Ekwera kiro mwana ngatungira chinchira chaye. Yes. Bana mbabweka kiro mwana abwate chinchira chaye ngatungira. Make your here, your mother. No manya tenga kiro mwana iburu chinchira tofauti. Na kiro mwana chinchira ukomo semia. Bari bako igwangu, bari bako igungora. Naro wote bigento oge passive the way wage present. Naro oge passive in a different way. Yes. So parenting, number one, is an on the job training. Eringa omwana oli obwatoyo omugosibabere ukiro omwana oku understand kivi yake. Now coming to what you asked, abayibuli mba understand ti abana abayibuli mba kwano bara abana bulunge. Let me tell you, intuna abayibuli our investment in this world, which is the best investment. Yatura tiga kwa gacha chinyompa kugura chigali kugura amalemu binte bibionsi ipi. It is all vanity if we cannot invest in our children. Ngiye karangu kwana yo. Ekero ko uikaransa kwaligire bulungo kunyoranga boniga omwibuli obwate abana bali capable eba kunyara go take care y'omwibuli no omwibuli oyo invested his or her time ekera bwate chingu intuboniga abantu turobuna bayibuli boniga let me talk of the millenniums bali nintubona tura bayibuli ntubwene to make sure na we have invested as abana baitu boniga chingu bwichito bwate to chi convert chibe ne chingu chiko so asabana baitu egera abana baitu chi ekero ka chingu chetu chiko kera bachiko bana ku chingu chetu
chingu cheche boli babwate abali ntubwate chingu cheche
boniga tubwate chingu na amagoso tubwate nalinga millennials twaikera enga kitubwate ebintu bire binge kigas ni gutagite gukiga ebintu etokumyoka ebintu ebinge but too much kwebe yentekemo ikitubwena tukurwanira abana baitu It was a philosophical statement he made, which I love so much, that if you want your children to remember you in future, then make sure you are present in your children's life currently. Ngoni guteta abana babo kwinyura go kibosyo kaboro ama gosto bwate nari twebire twasore komyoka ibintu byense tutaite koros chikoroba tutaite kugura amali bo tutaite kugura kigari ebintu byose ipi ekero goche go kiguru kigo cha gokera vijana wakichukua chukumu igo bago cha kubiona byose ipi biero taraswa bucyande
okwali bakore ngira ne ase kibagendi asimambia boniga ndamuboriga ngiye ko gara tukonyorana mwana moke oda gutwara ibirengero by'ugwita kya abana banabarika yana bonyarana ingetu kyabe mwana wate ibirengero by'ugwita usabanje beiti na ugura koro gutaki ugutukibinare kwa abantu bose nkeko bere
biya mona sana Brighton tigancha kera se daktari akolera by the way boniga buno bwata chinguru chine boko munyako birigie lakini chinguru chia kaire abana bali bago soime kwanyoranga byani babisaliri nonyeta geketaireti ebintu kwa minyokire myake menge korosi igo obuibuli no parenting negento kire kiamana sana singenjo muntu yobuna kwa morago tira bo muntu muronge ine legacy yogutige nene kubwa maliensi urarosi kangiche asili swali yako abana amangana mental health issues mental health issues chabere chinyinge sana ibintu nebinge sana bikogera abana baikase atakete kwirusya ubuma togota bangangento kemage kogera umwana atakete kwirusya ubuma ibintu mpire binge sana biragera umwana atakete kwirusya ubuma abana bakegolikia teenagers ngonyorore nga ngogo bale through issues chinyinge ase chirina rore chinyinge sana gose chire prevalent ya abana number 1 ngento ngere tukora identity crisis umwana oyo na daktari hata ya family ukonyora bana mpali tofauti chi family bona chabeire enjerere etalenge buna yani mupango bwe family bona family structure sichire chingao kubwa chiri tuanarite kale onyora leo sinonye no mwibuli bagosanire omwana mwibuli yo mugenda nabana bona kumusana na kuli kwanyora ngo mwana ukino ikase abwate identity issues kalento abwate framework of transition ase abamurabare ko somigu go sacha ningi ko bomasacha ningi abana baiske basomigu ukokunga ebintu binebi bintu bibwati bona igabana bange bale bukaso gukina kwabo batabwati okurawa korwase asa bible gose social structures konyora ngo mwana oli afile tiare erebieka ande nande ngonyora ngantu bwati obosani gati ya bible na abana kwanyora nga umwana go struggle negento takonyara gokoraki gotebia umuibuli ekara go struggle negento kariere bieka kwanyora nga ikirasa koranga the only way yomochando yoere no wait ntubwate binte binge Brighton ibintu there very many things tanyara
kwandanyas ebikwira ekaro tutugenda buki bagenesi umuibuli about the responsibility upando umwana oye indeno nebinte biekara bwate bikase ibirenge bya
naboiko umwibuli abayibona babwantu bwate libagalina na sana liyo kwana nabana baitu buna daktari ata babana baitu bale unique iko nande togote abanga mbai currency mpakwanere mwensi ga keolisa we komanye we understand umwana umanya na kya reason umanya na kya react mbara ko nyara bako gechi ubwanga se family mbara ko nyara bale ngorase asoko gechi yokero mwana na arengencho yae we kantu na babe to understand ekero uri present in life yo mwana rabo kumanya ngo mwana yale kana igana kwanyora kumanya injira yo kumuguide asengencho understand it na injira yo understand no ko baso bugima bwaye
ebiyo sana ko ba asuma bwaye Dr. Magadel muboli na kyo create time kimo tura create time na bana ba una ngale mwe mnaje dasa kuna bi ngondwa saa moja akingo create time. Should I create time?
You have to create time. If you were given an option to have your children or not have them, you'd pick the children. Mweburi wata bana bonega orate benga take my children. Let me be an employee of Etaya. Jetinda itibana. If you chose not to have children, then you shouldn't have given birth to them. The fact that you have them, you have the children and then dedicate your time. It's a full-time responsibility. Nkoligiore pesa nkoligiore other resources there of foot the bills na inde urageria bana. But at the end of the day, any parent would create time. I admire how abantu ba America and the West, even when it is a president, a consultation day yo mwana ewe skuru, the president will have it in his diary that on such and such a day, at such a time, I will go for my child's activity in school, and they go. But we have a function even at school, maybe it's consultation, maybe one will participate or something, we will delegate that. We fail kogenda. And that is the only chance as a parent, will take time off work ogende. It means then you're not as dedicated as you ought to be. There are children who come a whole 4 years, and they have taught in high school. Who was so bright, and 4 good years, the father never stepped in school. And this boy was the most disciplined, one of the brightest students we had. Nonyangina only showed up once or twice. They were not even together. And the one thing that hurt us the most as teachers was prayer day, area form 4. Ono mwara very roro for the boy, he has been good and then prayer day ke on this day that this child neraga neti at least umeburi auruke no nyendi moriok form 4 third term, that parent still didn't come. The boy was broken, so that takes me back to what Dr. Yokibo was saying, that if you do not create time for your children now, they will not create time for you when you need them. It is as simple as that. And that is why sometimes, and I want to ask you this question. Why is it that most children, even in school, correlate more with the mothers than the fathers? Mothers create time more than the fathers. It is true. Boys, boy child. It will always be, I want to call my mom. And mothers create
Thank you. Actually, as she has said, Omoibori present currently means a lot. A challenge to what Neyemo, and I want it to be very clear in this. Parenting has changed over time, and we must appreciate that. Just like technology, parenting never change.
Yes.
Right now, we need to learn about modern parenting. I was with my dad from almost a week ago, and I remember we were sharing a story with my sons. And he was telling us a story. We were just having a road trip. Then he was capable of buying a car, but he didn't buy a car. So my boys were like, what do you mean? Signature. Those days, parenting during that time was, they were inspired by Chikarani Chechai. Boniga, Karani Chechai is not inspiring anymore. over time it changed abantu bagasoka kuba inspired by teaching and ngama tukasukira and teaching is not inspiring anymore abantu bone baligereti obonyagitari and other things. What do I mean to say? Parenting has changed and boniga into balitura abayibuli baboniga etubona tekolan modern parenting in community toba abayibuli babana ba mambia ntoba abayibuli babana ba moisonde ekero twabera abayibuli babana ba mambia ebintu bire tutakire nampeyemo to make sure na etokoba the first role models y'abana baitu into abana baitu kinya tigabaturigira barore example buna batakire bakikora ki bachikomenya nampa ibere ekera bantaba okuba nacha bachikomanyangana kyo ochikomenya. Number 2, make sure nga nkubasomyule ebintu bire current oni ngatuwa the issue ne ya agency otaikara stina abana ba ubuno moiburi obateinga look here mambia amandamano na akare but this is not part of your activities enga kitu akinde mandamano atakora taki taringo ebine bintu byakire bonye
kina bora nyalende ogokira bweno kukogera tejjen shugo mukabo
nakingo tanga there has been evolution and then parenting also did not go through the evolution toka make mistake abayiboli bagekabara bakaendera go train abana ba muisonde ba train abana mama ba mama so tugenda tumukebuna abayiboli ba lero to so go train abana ba guchimambia to be role models to guide even their careers like now careers are also changing kwikana senu mwana omutenga mambinga gogo chigokia probably again toro tire ke make sense mambi ke which make sense na cura kore kwiba ngoro egere mambia na ojo fit to the society
pesa na umwanju bulweda direction olwede na twanda zagonya kukwana bano mambe ndaga kukwana erori ya bible anene as oli niga krabana bajirika nigo baro mosigo gose na bagoda kere kora abakwanira asinini ekero eruseye etigare kero kera sekibagende tubagende ko mashkure krabana bagochaka abani kero bayira ne jisukuru kuma jisukuru ne bisanga biko be jisukuru ebiki kenyo ni kura role mwensi kenyo kura mole ngiye ko gara ekero tokona twanya barana bana bada musna matemba ko bana bada ne bachitika by disciplinary ngiye ko era krabana ba ne school or ba ko mo was than wali bachite.
Thank you Brighton mbia mwana liswaligia sana ebintu ne binge biko sana kero chirusa chiri ngorra tolenga nande kero kenda kunyora ngomwana kerale school sometimes challenges chiri cha zire family chiri ko moikera chi family nchire mangana yo boneriria agokorekana gender based violence mwana kerale school mangana atali kumuchanda ekera chirenganye karenga samangana agokorekana goikanya alakabaga kumu affect abantu mbale batubota koteka advantages oba abana karabana abachire rusa konyoranga abantu abana bale kabisa bamuregete bakuriya abana bale bakoreki bateka advantage of them kero ken nande kwanyoranga a company mwana ukipe kerale school na limited lakini kera chirenga abantu akusangana baruna abantu bakurukira ina bikonyoranga kera sangira n'abantu abonsi ekera kwera ne school tabia yate konyara ko babuna buna yarengeria ku school valende nande ne libakali ne ligia sabaiboli kunyara kumanya mwana wae nonye mbanto kya kutarna bara mbi activities kya kubanya asengenjo muna kwata ababu kunya bali libaka by the way nyota ko kire bageli ndata yogo chacha ko kuligeli chinsa ko tenga bona na ko riziri saa 11 genda bera na bana naye biko munyano ko chakwa kesa weyunga saa 1 yengo ikanka ngorunde libaka aso mwana interact naye ngorunde guidance yeli mwana mbwenta ko mwanji muno moiboli libakeli likembwate ende liyo nyara ko batanya ko banga ngogenda leskali chikokole bintu ota approve ay muno moiboli kwanya ngeta bya ya chenjiri ya kwera ne school
tabia ya chenjiri magado na boko meta na ya nkiye ko gara bana ba chenji pf gara ba kwera ne school no bono baje awo kwera na alia awo mwana chenji sana yeko gara boko meta
buna jaira sia kwanire no nyinto balimu when we prepare the students the 3 months story na barabu abana bago chaba improve aba so good no nye ekereto kurwa matemu immediately after they have come from home most times they go perform bobe ekere ba spending onye 1 month in school kwa improvement but bona mangananka na makongo na inde I have to admit on camera that some parents are not doing a good job in parenting. GBV neregoro, and sometimes especially defilement ya bana neregoro, and sometimes yokonyora the parent even knows a case nabo mwana ko ba defiled ne relative lakini abaibori bakira they batubereriwo na hata even if you try to take action it goes nowhere. FGM asabana banyaruka gusi bado nerororo ebintu bune nabigo chabigo bia destabilize abana emotionally. GBV area nyombe area intimate partner area abantu babere banchaine ono husband and wife mbali kukwana nyumba bari yani communication theyo kuchapana tu abana are witnesses benyora in the middle of all this. I have seen cases where our student Mumrago chiskuro tenga I hate my father because he beats my mother so badly. One day I'll beat him. You know, by the time mwanafunzi aote wabo, it means I may take personal. Umwano nye performance we can be affected. Sometimes and it is never really about men beating women. There are women who are also completely harsh to their husbands. And the children nobody nyumba nobody chenga my mother is mean. Dad nabago cha nyumba ta egwe ndagira. Umwana uligireti wote banga surely also whatever maybe whatever is there digao the husband yegwe. Ebintu bune yingo chabiri be interfere na abana na performance byagera baba abandi baba depressed. Abandi when they come to school bono bago chaba form friendships na bad company. So bacha baba basani baba na bali ababe in the process ya basaliri ubogima.
Sana daktari wote na jira sole nande obo parenting ni bukwigira nibona rede muna ibona mutaba na parenting ya yekora the same note ntubwate bigori byabana na bono igole lecture yabana ngono bora last agency magara ntare agency njireka bare igori gite achira sia godina bantange bonsi parenting yeko bali bwate ndengo nado mwibuli nena masomo tete kwenda unapoegeri umwana waye chimbwa neta
Bien mono Brighton.
Yes.
Actually nganate parenting is an on-job training. Ekeneyento ogosoma kuna kolengana abana bawe bali na kolengana abana bali uki nekero yo meke wangu kiasi na kutema correlate na barabu at equal levels. But ite kunyarekana if you are keeping a distance cross abana bawe. For you to understand needs, the capabilities, needs strength ya kero mwana obwate egero manyanga nkayibwe na te commentative kayo kayamari gitwito te ngakolengania mari
yes
uyikoba ngana abana babao egera ndagira akoreki ndagira nyara kwa manya. Besides that, I love the initiative in Chiroro chinyinge sana ngaboniga either we call it either what?
Etaya Wellness Center.
Yes.
In conjunction with the other organizations, mbawate an initiative. Boniga bago answer for the holiday. Today is when you're starting.
Yes.
Probably is going to elaborate over the same.
Yes.
Bago invited abantu bari teens and pre-teens. Teenagers na bari batara teenagers. Aba bari kibusa boniga. Bagenda babakwanire. Engi do tena bana parenting is special kekora kilo mwana ari unique. Ni gotogote machinjira ao kuramwa information ye. Na mukonye gozi ngonye thigo kone temei. Amasomo engabuna bunekera umuntu agosoma undergraduate ni gakora chiko side ya 50. Go cha pastors wake ya ke para wanu kwa sori kumanyanga nkyuta gete. Go ba PhD kyake apaka waje gukora ne topic ye. Ekiki yako eko boyo. Na ina abana ngatukuba kinyo takire oteme chinjira ao paka understanding what is the best way that you can raise them. Wetanya abaiboli. Ntubwena tuikarasa tatena nje no muiboli amana yaya. There are so many courses online. There are so many courses chiko organized na different organizations. Ntubwate coaches bago coach about family issues. Ntubwena tuigo kamo gaito. Nonye obo kongororo na ende komenta sinini senge to Magdalene ateba. Amangina ya bago abana bo chichaka bakwira ne school batwini. Nge kwera bago tuwa. Very simple. inka buna Bible tubwato bokomobo chipade ni chiche tubuna Bible tubwena te ko handle so amangana itwansoni twaye mo kibon twaye gasaba yagera omwana also ago battle with things vitai of their level. Omwana also akolengeri about GPVs, also akolengeri about kise gichiendreteka bose na kibon mama ira niliga bose tata na kila niliga. All these affect the families. So konyora Bible baikanamo ebintu byao bya soluba bikole Maria sibi visite batika abana barengereria mangana ya masomo n'ibintu by'amana n'icyo kirane ese y'inchiye tekemo create a better environment y'umwana w'ubuno
y'umwana kandi garade azole dakta agatwa kinega ango yana baka intidi mogere nada nebyage na baka tuitira ale konyoneli gos but nowadays to waka mwana mmoja and apart from abaibuli yabono babu mwana totebena pesa to yigulo so atie ngima no mutata onyero mwana onde nero yala dire shida as parenting
mbiye mono actually nganate about is evolution ya bintebi kibiya change na among ibintu bibiya change no ko lose obwanja nguri bwa kare obwanja kare bwarenge no eno muspati uri bucikenyuru nigari gusikwa n'abantu bonse omuspati onere nigari gusika abantu bonse bono iga Brighton yako nyoma otebo imukane na irade libube imukane muntigere yagero no na abana omwana okora amagoso buso mwana taiko ba determined obuti omwana onyagetenga tigasale ko cya ugi tatakora kitaboyo obwanja buri bwa kare ekero twabotigete tweretere ibintebi my appeal is the moment okoro mwana onyageta gusaleka gwa mutiga ngatigasaleke singinjo taigo jago affect nasalikire no yonere na cyambukiri yonera cyakoreki acyasaleke ngonye ndritwaja twira no gwanja buri bwa kare mwana akora amagoso tema ko correct na baba baraga ni atumwaka but no ena abayibuli yabuna bukuba kwanira batenga gaki omwana tutagwanja tomokonye twensi gekora omwana kaimukire igongo tebe utambiga ekero umuntu abeire umuntu mara busasomire aitire atwarire amari kabe gitikitaya kurusobo muntu chimore gitugo cha buwo mwine na etubwatikende no morogi na yego tayo karaki tayo tacha lakini eto kenga mwezi murege sunde babaroge babaraki bagwatumira mwezi
biya sana nimeta bange baada ya tubwati kabisa anene bali banje tena abana ba we mentorship building kabisa nimeta baba esnas nyaramba batubwate tikiara ngati ya bali bande tubwati nindo jidna kangwana kabisa wakona sisi bande tena mbia tuendelea kugamba simambi yabone Chelsea nyaralio ndo jino bali abanki kabisa bakote wakona sisi asimambi yaboni tuandete ko ri tuje SMS jino asimambi yaboniga Olivia Kirwao ndena etopkiningi yetiga Bible baire chinga gichabo asabana tena tigawe na Kristo batani moroja otabano ali meyumoro bari kabisa ara otabana banali ya obwaterero niko bali smart sana de mone jojo kabisa mone smart ameniambivu kuna mwenye ameniambivu ndio mkwana lieta kidega tena mkochonjo ndio mone smart sana amesa ngira ne ase kibage ndimo watena kama watu ara merubiri yabana bawo jamwa bakora mentorship abai buri baroba abai ribaga kona nayi kera mwara kode ebera udani ta ndi ndutanga abai buri baroba anchira ndina mangana mopa ikera ndiro ko rumuguri umwana ba mwana na suwaje sana na abai buri bata mata ribaga
Bible ntora ikrase tubona tako ikasto kete lakini nda Bible mbagende tako nyakururi bageriga nande ndorochinga abana bagoche namba itonege nyako increase over time kero tuwachagitene nambenge sana inamba ngo nyagotirere ngora iko nande abayibuli ba realize ngo koro omwana kugenda konyorase arasome life skills asenga njokera kenda konyora school abagosoma go school lakini kerarase akonyora life skills yani a program where tailor made kumosome life skills choka chinyene anese kolge nane topic chirto bwate chire specified go chike go kirito kora kitoko kwana kuna kwa boli nki ko gara sometimes na lekara mwana kwa skuro ko nyara na bagotua lekara mwana lekana bakunyara nga screen time mwere igoro dio kala sesimi sometimes ndugwa control ya ebintu biri mwana go access ya internet kwa nyara nga obwa bwaterere mono tutabe social media iko bona muna topic kuna social media na topic to bwate to gochakera lero ayonsi ni ga kutokonya twanyara ko batweka bana sere ni rendonge maya pili gocha sababu tikatulikia mabaga ase abana barasome things biri babwenta ko kumanya so kumugwaba nabo tatwandi ko so mwana life skills lakini garuka morotira se program yaito ni ga kunyoro bokonyi zaidi kwa nyorana na nye response to kunya kwa sababu ya katanga mwana na improve it sana kwa rutina last time tampo hivi na singing topics change na jira jingo kwa senta tire on mwana konya improve asema so
biasa tigangira ne ase na usikicha se Dr. Magadan turabora nere na kim ndire okonyora mwana nere navo lakini mbona mwana nega singusa mwana yere ngaituku mubiki kera na bamwete tuna tata na tingi kusibama ilikuwa wangu kitura na kiero mwana ngatuku mubiki abasia toko morie ni toko bali aje tomo kungito
mbia mono Brighton chinga inko chaturi twanyora abana bunabo and there is no child that is too young or too old to be molded. Mwana ndebwensi all you need to do is kumo understand ngayo kumo approach daktari okibate banga we have to change our parenting styles. Parenting style ya kare etware gwako ebiboko twebwa parenting style ya bono nabo gwako mwana ebiboko taibwa kende pi. So that means that now as a parent you change the style. Maybe huyu ni ule mtoto wa kuongeleshwa oise korora as a parent mwana oyo nsinyire probably because you have bad friends and other sorts of influence. That is where now Oroche Babo Jairus and other organizations chigo come in chigo we can help you mentor your child if you do not know how to go about it. Okwanere life skills. Life skills in chibwenete yasomi gono into school. But how many schools have invested the time and the resources in life skills?
Yes.
Most times nonyora life skills ya set timetable ere timetable bosaigo lakini in actual sense naboko nyorange lesson yeyo ego to make for other subjects ikiagira syllabus ngo very covered abali mbatete gukora also. And that could have been the perfect time gukora ki osomia bana. Ngoteba schools also need to even embrace abantu bali babwate skills buna counselors bachicha into the schools bachaka mentorship eyo na inde ba engage abana in life skills counseling and other services chirichira bakonye so that even if home is inhabitable we cannot control the temperatures at home but we can try to shape these children anyway. Recently a syllabus ya change but umaite Brighton abayibuli bado bago insist abana buna bago chanka baye uchi homework batagite babe business homework and in my view I feel that is wrong. Ekeretwalenga abana we never even came home with assignments. That was the time to bond with our siblings, to bond with our parents, to bond with our cousins and other relatives. But bone hu mwana bekirichi assignment kuruma mpaka marogoba umwibuli origiri abarimu batatu gusebane ba tuition embuye mwana etamate.
Yes.
But bono ekerare engaged igo india go charendo nyora time nere o shape into the young man or young girl that he is meant to be. Onye kera chinza ne bitabu na bintu bune
Go bitabu tono na kiende ke daktari takirege ka daktari ko na daktari mwana ni aterina eruse bono ne ningi kera bago tari mwakiri pa ugoze eruse ningi nde kwa jireka no kuragira useni
ya muno erusa niga abana bagochaka egere banyara ko bakoba no mwarimu obo obene uyure tofauti kurwa so mwarimu uri orase system nekede kinga kinyinge abana baiteka bagosoma 70% kinga kichabo eba spend na bali baito 30% yechinga kichabo nachiba spend na bayibuli no ake sabu ya obulongi mitinyi yonsi komine bere ase mitinyi ene omutinyi yomo nalibale guse mitinyi tataba koleki iyere 30% au nto ibwana bono into na bayibuli ingito takira tokole nothing we need to create an environment that 30% any into kiba so mi school basa mi trigonometry basa mi we binde bionsi ipira kini bintu biri bataiko hewa the values the emotional intelligence time mwalimu okwanda some mwana emotional intelligence amotenga ekere bintu bya berega wikote mekoremereri ebintu binibinga kosomya abana balemereri oni nge tubwata abana bake abana bagwita umwana of form 1 form 2 mwana kubekira ngoli ekikeko era bayibuli batwale titaiwa musomi igoro ya emotional intelligence kosomya abana igoro ya sharing kosomya abana igoro ya love kosomya abana igoro ya resilience ebile bintu tubwerete tubuna bayibuli kinga kichi tubwate kinke kirusa nonye baire homework yana bakoego egere bakipe trend ntuba base korara na inde baira n'ibintu bide beba maso create kingaki babekera abana bawo kingaki batainga aselituko tumea 1 hour 2 hours musomo chinga kinaye beka na at least aselituko nonye kole peaceful no buno mwibuli create na 1 hour mura ikarasa na abana mura ase mura kiesa na baragu mura tara na baragu uyu ngana kibaho kwa keko era egento kereta tobo kongoninga it is the serious and closed nature totabwati open dialogue tutayigutwara ribaga tukwana n'abana baitu buna bayibuli yagera mwana ta understand tingina omwana amanyeterenga tata ngasoire kwendera aho so ane sini oikara soro paka tinga kiera mamiga ale sini onya kwamba amanye instructions so what kind of role model are we to our children? They have to create time, they have to show me abana baitu ebintu biri batayikonyara ko basomi school in a responsibility. Mwana tawosomi una mwalimu goro ya love because mwana ga karari tabwati nyina tabwati muru wa tabwati muswati mwa. Ngonya ni
abagori aba bere tatebena musaje no ko kuna roro ndio tora single parenting nero ko konya bana. Bono bata kero gwatara machikuba para osiba goje karobor tubwate mwaka numongi about from single parenting.
In fact, the first and foremost thing as a parenting nearly make sure the emotional well-being you was ya you ya very taken care of. Ngoni mure omosacha no mukungu no muramu well and good. Make sure everything to be affect the emotions to mwana mo wasubira tasoma. Bikorera ya asumugakari ngonyo mwibuli karoyo there is no mistake it is happening we have single fathers we have single mothers sometimes abantu bayota ndo wa single fathers we have them so ngonyo koro mwibuli nayo royo mo tobase gutwara bokomo take your time sometime expose you to some of your friends look at your friends who can be the good father role models or the good mother role models then amachukumu maite obo kini abana kwa twero obonene sana yekwera abayibuli abange more especially the millennials I've had cases at the university and narari girege okonyoranga kibanyu omana babere oyo munarore ere omaide the value yokona chabana no yo de daro kwenye kumusaba I'm sorry to say this ka kia buli mo lakini moise kuligiri family kinyinga konyoranga ai to mosaja amusete ko kibosio umukungwa abarataki amusete ko mayo so mukungwa amusete ko kibosio masaja amusete ko mbanya ubuna gogo ko mutu mbanya ko lengani lakini tigato tembe go konya twezi agia so kunyara gukora orege tukiregia kiranga cyabana
kugeza ndetse kwanda se kibageni biri bitugenda ubyoga sana simambia boni kiaro mujadala ni gole umega kusoma jidina somesa ngo isomane ndiyamugasi kibageni kiwika intimoto mumana so much corona responsibility ikulinda abana no guvenda nigere yabaku sibiri mu
yabona sana
mosikese zinamoto kumana mwana oye genda sanyo
omanyete ntatongire tabauti abasacha n'abakungu tole tabauti abakungu mbale mo nurturing ko abasacha abakungu mbale more loving yani uko kwakata kolinkoro kubwanto basacha abasacha montu bwate structure yani ngo ngagirete muno ase my opinion mwana abwente kukino no musacha no mukungu bune bwenete koba odo bono twatwalre dynamics na daktari Etaya asengenjo umwibuli oyo mukungu ngoretale nurturing no mwibuli oyo musacha ngoretale the structure yamanya gosona nga structure na nurturing ya sona ndire amo asengenjo tutongire njerere tofauti however the minute nga ntu ababuli abasacha ntubente kuba nurturing iswali linto ko tayanga basacha mbali kutwa because abaiboli mbara basacha ba very specific my thing I chinse chekaro chekirega no mwana nenkokoraki go create time however abaiboli baswati mba ngo bale more present than yabasacha lakini rende my call to all of us is that abaiboli wants to instiga to be present asa ko mabana
tego bagada ni nelamende bagada ni kwa ngora na baswati mbateri yanda otobwa ose ni mwa ida maboli timeti yanda ne wala moko endera go neli yande.
I don't know whether bonding begins in the stomach, but naturally, women into what more compassion, more love, and I don't want to say ngabasacha mbabwati. Even the minute you just grow into it, you know, and it is wrong to also saying women in general, because you may find a few women who are not as as nurturing as though assume. Mbaro na indibara extremely mean ya savana baba. Na indibara puto mwana down. Jairus can talk about it. Amangana toxic parenting, for example. It does not guarantee ngabono women nibare better. But overall, the role of the primary child care abangina are better than men. That is why nonyekere umwana ibuiru. Most times ingo gochoba a maid omoreri kusena vaiseke ayekwanya konyoro omomura okoegwe gasio oboreri
and jinsi ya garanachi.
So it is with reason that naturally nabo abangina abakungu batongirego
Ningo no musaje jomore na baralero abana kuyo kuyo.
maybe boy child. Maybe boy child, but
boy child, why not baby girl?
Somehow the logistics around it and it has nothing to do with the stereotypes. It has nothing to do with that. I have seen parents. I've seen musacha naroro nebire retari aye erekuru mukaya sirete kero mwana iboretwe na inde no mwana munyaruka. This man nabale riro mwana oyu even without a maid pakaga ikire ngole ngibono obere teenager. So there are exceptions, there are such cases that tutatebenga bono we have pinned down women or men only. Parenting swings both ways. Nainde mwakwanira
na waziringani gwathia na musaje tako mareri na
aya ndintaite goteba also ntwakwanira single parenting. And I want to say single parenting tebwenereti aba a condemnation ingabono wono nde single parent wono mwana one tigabe no. Single parents have raised brilliant young men and women out there. And there are single parents who have failed. Mbaro bataite ko possess yo mwana no yone no nye relatives tata getiba mukonye ko raise yo mwana. Daktari otebera for example injembe single parent mbwato mwana omumura. As much as inda atake go take all the credit for raising that child, there are mentors omwana yoragani who are men. And I have to make that child feel comfortable in the presence of abasacha. And that is how other male father figures come in. If I am a woman and I have daughters, I must not entirely raise my daughters. nimbwate other relatives, even men who I also can trust around umwana oyo na inde bamona tegere bamoroki the other side. And speaking of na kitokorezi abana, nkonyorore situation where umuntu okorezi umwana o guardedly, yani okumugitera umwana okumwakire gento na inde kwa mo raise perfectly. Whatever nje no yo nengo kini tinda ikumanya amangana y'abana babandi, but we are social beings. Gwekere point umwana oyo goikacha interact no mwana onde. Eventually goikacha nyomo ulio komo nyoma ere na are raised we. So we cannot afford to be selfish with parenting. When as parents to have selfish what inga nje no yo ne gweka kumereti ya kumeri bones na nyasaye nakororera mabira arente the ones who are also raised well as a life ya bana bao.
Pesa mtiazu daktari kwa mjukora nekara kwa naiguru ya msada korona enga kigwa tukasi tozi kwa ta komenta nani tuma kubura nina aikona nae kwa tena ningole a boy child champion mwana moro kwa nyakire nekara kasi rusi because anengo nyadura bono mumurena babo soka na TSN nini aira na marago na bako ko lakini nyoro kere au de bunga yoko na ara mangana makomsa mumurena na kio konye kile ba de na masaje na wamale bas
omusacha bose omwana nyaroka ko omoleli. This is an issue and we go back to the responsibilities of omusacha no muswati as from the biblical perspective, the cultural perspective, which is more prominent, a culture nja watelinga umusacha ngagusacha ogenda sikuchukuru umuswati utiga nyumba egera ukunga olindu muche ya letu muche korosikaira ikini kintu kia bete na culture born paka born you bring the aspect of stereotype ye we kaine mune tote anga basfati mbagwene gukora bintu gete nabasaka bagwene gukora but chinga kia chenchi nechinga chinga chigo chencha ebinde bya stereotype ebinde gonyara ko bigokora bikonya kugorora murango umwana mumurana bakorera nabakorera abanyu bakobeme ni linga
yale no muro akamuraga
ekine kendo narotanga tainga ale ndakaguraguka no majete ngawe no bugaka bweke itaka comfortable tipo umwana mumura nyumba ganero kurenda abana nyumba no mo rugyo yo no ale no ngorengera liga utwewana ebina bibinte itokorta na stereotype but na ende what a meaning in the socialization
amano murero osikire
bono kuira naso umwana mumura umwana mumura naendelea gukonya kara kintara konye komunita kibi chi umwana mumura gwibiwe ekinekene na okwe kwabe ogotambe kuru engake constitution ya 2010 but even before lakini ni 2010 na hili ya baby common ndio women rep all the nini NGOs jukwa na yoro ya bana baswat all these things be affected umwana mumura but ngatokunya kwendera inche kune child champion. I'm happy na I've met so many people but receptive to this idea abanda bangi bone basere ko mind na we need umwana umurana koleki ayukiguru egera maintain a responsibility yaye eyatanya gutira umwana muswati na wapili ngochi asabaka abayibuli balitoleka kisukuru chichoro n'abasaja kamuranje tigato teme ko encourage omwana mumurata give up omachi korekana ngo give up lakini tataki give up tigato mo encourage egera nyurena still within the society ntomogani na jirate yotranye without this project
pesa ngirane as kibagendi ekarokuri ya webuli abange ubwo rero utaka aso kenone kurumano yabateme cyane umwana abana ndobona mbokuliria abana kororome cyane abere ikumana ari gwitanga tengenda kino mwebuli dana no mo cyane kora tigange kwere kabisa dikarbarda no naso bokomwa asimu management momento mwana ni nani advice kura ruja so mwebuli oyo era de no mwana na materi boss tigango tate mwebuli digo tema kumbe osinyi okay weekends
advice ndawra samwe bo tadras mangano nyino go chocha se counselor go se psychologist okonyora mapaka yogo sanga n'abantu bandi abayibuli bandi naro negentu kyamana sana ndelio ngenjo nere daktari natanga negentu mwibuli okolan omwana ogobunali obibuli yani ngolia ko parent abana bayega nacho ko parent abana bako kende kinkeyo ngenja abana bako le bare tofauti however generally ngenjo insako ikaransa na Dr. Kibo abaira apparent longer than inch insako borrow from his parenting abakunyora ngana nyolre gento kedra work as a system yani osegento ngeri ngale gukora tindo chigo semboronge ngokora nabongolan mo kurwasale igo nonya no gusanga as parents igukore gento kiamana sana na kwa nalinga ntubwate courses chire online tadi necessarily yako genda gukwana no muntu nabako genda okariki uligerelinga inki world standards cyo wibulinjira chire orono na internet so that kwanyaro kabanga nabako boro ko implement as a parenting yao
omwana oyo ochire kerusa mwibulu nero kuli efi na ndo mwana achikuira ono nende efi akoligo sireli bagako bano mwana oko moment
rizali sana mtu kwa naga mapema nga nabako liye school fees yeyo lakini onye chimbu emotional resilience love social structures onye mwana utasoma tibinde biga at the end of the day nabako kumnya konyolenga wakorega siyabosa wikatumanya nga ningi kere important usome mwana we amasomo nali important what else ngendo kikendo mwana we bwenta kusoma ndeli tobe komukinabo naro na smart as to kumnya ka school fees tominya kenaro tokonge naro ko karaki kusoma mwana ebinde bikomokonya acha ko muntu muronge
bien sana era kuna omwibuli tarigo jarone school na liya teba kiki mwana atakiroko ngo tarigo chapi wocha kaboni rusana limwibuli de na bana le na ankwane tanya goje mwana mjaya wala kia galo
elizari sana by the way before nichaseli swali abayibuli tigango tobe present ya sabana baito mata korokyo mwana bwanjane no gocha no tamuletara kendo gocha kuli kwacha igagwaika negento kere meaningful aso mwana sana echumi yako ngire lakini naboko tema no kugenda komoro no genda morore ga bantu agatere kare ngomoka gachire nengaseti na maji ogotigera no nyemi 200 mongna nabare gocha ga timbwa tikende pere kinakorosiri agachabati anakoretera iyo ngateriras mocho twale chibasi nyingo mako ganda school karro mwana gaki mwana yeke mean a lot to him ose ha ekarwa chire komoro ekara bana babiri bantu bagocha etugocha imagine ngiko gendra so bangu bu mwana oyo ekara koranga ababande barabwe bacha ayatocheti it is very they can to care very emotional as mwana oyo abana bango develop very emotionally psychologically intellectually ngwen banga ntebanya ko develop ebintu bindi bagocha konya gosoma nga I don't matter ibintu bine bya ko bisoma se kera emno mwebuli tali go show up kera bana bantu bakoraki abayibuli bagocha ochaka koranga ayatoli go koraki tali kumata sinjo to machalete inkobere akongusana so mwana however nandire ngo sometora bana nga gutwara emotional resilience sometimes no kunyora bako ngomboro pi mwibuli akurwa sa tali kunyara pi agocho chali mayo naro mwana nabwenta koba emotionally resilient manyanga nabongo nyara go soma no nyatachiti
pesa magadan neme kune style tuara letu ni affectine to kwa na kwa letu matagataga masombere tu begir maigatera ni affectine tu na to kwa bana metu na na to kwa bana metu ne ju affect uchibosio
ngochere affect kiagira design
na no gara ni yo ade na akora na ro chu mwana munyaro ko kwanyirwe se pado ne koma tu rumu na to munyaro karo gura ni dini to te to gura to ma kwana gura ya James Mange era ka tu tu ko
sawa mbia mono ngo affect yere and that is why ko nyoru mwe buri atenga ekere na ari ngo mwana ntitato mintu tari gutiga bintu gite bikorekane ki karoche you know so in a way how our parents raised us na we will influence how we raise our children two ways though onyo mwe buri ukari kugwa keke boko mono naye nabora apike kiboko akabana bao sana, or because you hated it you can choose not to. So okogenda the opposite side, otebenja bana bane sitawachapa kiboko kama vile nilikuwa nachapwa. On the issue of this the wakwanira girl child. Yes. A girl child, it has been a journey. It has been a journey. Sometimes to make 2 steps, to run 1 step back. And we are at a point where the conversation really should not be just about women, but rather gender. And if we talk about gender, then we look at both male and female. We can no longer say we will empower the girl and then the boy will sort himself. They're both children. In the course of empowerment, they both need empowerment. Onye na masomo, both of them need. Abana Banyaruka have been given attention simply because the girls have so many mentors around them who show up even randomly. Nogenda Nyabururu girls on any random day, you will find Mogeninaro Chire, a lady who saw Sometororo, who saw Rigueta, who saw Yondore PS, who saw Ningo, no nyenje na bonko endo romba kwa 5 minutes, but I want to be a doctor like her. You know, Bono, in the case of the boy child, I think the biggest challenge we need to address the issue of alcohol and drug abuse. We need to address the issue of betting. Even a baby to be put down betting. We also need to address mentorship from the men's side. I have been in a boys' school for a very long time. How many males come in there to just say, I was just passing, can I have a few minutes with the boys? Daktari Noara, how many times, actually we have a population of 3,000 boys. How many times, I want to be like Dr. Okibo. What I have seen around Omano Momura, the mentorship that is easily transitioned from one to another, is especially when it comes to something like sports. Abo, Nabokonyora, the love for soccer, for example, easily. Nonyo 4 years old. He has already seen the seniors. They are so into soccer. Naindenere buancha soccer, just easily like that. We can bring in other forms of encouragement to Omwana Mumura. For example, how to get resources at the right time, how to avoid amangana alcohol and drugs. Egere ba grow up babe steady emotionally before they can now make certain decisions on their own.
Pesa ne birondo je biashara de kirangwa na marenge muchi emeromeri kiwende ko chora korasi ko ngati de ka chuka to tukore asumuru de ka chuka tukore karogwe na se daktari ukibo freedom ya chiriye in the world, not just freedom. Manara de my dress my choice. Mana ko mubira ko madina ga golso ne chibe ko gora madeda kwa ngana bagat manna ko te yanga tika mangana yan freedom ya bai anura si kwa karano mwane ke boko na ayo na aligwe ni affect our parenting.
Mbia masi swali actually parenting boni game kia isumbu yomo, it's the change of regimes, change of environment, even living in a freedom is part of the change that we are witnessing. We need to be modern parents. To serve parents in the modern ways. Unfortunately, due to civilization, more especially Kenya, to affect living. To communicate to the Western way of living, to our core values behind. What makes them see their values, values and all that, and we've forgotten that. Freedom it is the one leading our people. I go back to Puntu by the granddaughter of Desmond Tutu. Desmond Tutu, I feel so happy. Desmond Tutu, you so many now we will buy the same things. No much you are documents. Buno muri ebintu biroro twa values nje twenda tukwasaba kuri baitu tugenda to transfer directly ukiasa abana baitu na abana baitu na baro transfer to another generation. Values ekiabeire loaded in a way esengi freedom, esengi democracy, esengi law n'ebintu bige bingi. So freedom yachile it is going to affect us. Back to what President Boy said. You're crying for democracy, but democracy is going to destroy you.
About the destroy. Kibagay ko tuloy tuloy ko kora ingana ya agency year mapya. Pade nane mapya. Ujiroji. Usikuri ko gazeti ya last week ya ilikuwa inahofia ya kwamba na wono agency baro bekana chi primary chi secondary chi primary basi lakini nasu university ya Jinkabale as role model para ban pakke batikari tutele abono bakobona jenzi mambizi kwenda abana bebara iso sokera ni pakka bese kendeli hande baro bekane do you think that they mangana jenzi go affect the education sector
amangana jenzi go affect the education sector first of all toligere ingi jenzi bago koraki what are they asking for igonga ebintu biri jenzi bakubolia yuko bigo affected chise emotions to start with. Secondly, bona mambinto kumanyereri ndoko nabatoko tenga bana mbasoka lakini sometimes lokonyaranga mbule chire kasi mwana tigairi bikanka na lokonyaranga mwana sokire. Demonstrating is a constitutional right, lakini ndi tigansa bega tubuna bible tikatabia bana nga kindly anya kole school. Let's focus on what matters for you now. Yuera mangana ya school to chiko soka iskari wakwe omie usana na wokoko utali in line nekerengo kia mana kia bono igo demonstrations chama binande ukusaba kwano kona niko kolenga tikatoba bantu bara batoeru you have a right to demonstrate so ka state to demonstrate lakini to base kuna kento kia muntu nande bachege mbobo nande tiga serikali itebete baba buanga soko goita jensi sengenjo it's their constitutional right ndo banga soko rutamasas ndo banga soko chuata bantu tiga bantu bakore kiba korate a constitutional right so long as batali ko chegionde
bisan ase kyombege kiao kyogo create awareness kuna kikwanda nga ina second ndo alimota kumanya biyana mwana kiutakiri gojo
pia mona sana pia mona sana umwarbuli to niko kora kwa raising an effective generation ikini ke kerango yetu kenna sana ngatunyale ko kimia ekegoli kere effective njira ya emotionally umuntu le ubwata emotional resilience ile daktari akoneraga umanyite muna komenya nabantu na muna komenya nero monyene kerenge kenne kia life skills is to know how to live with yourself and how to live with others igonga toinsa konyoranga tuasomeria bana komenya na barabo abanyene na komenya na bande konyoranga tu achieve sana igoto koromorobelio marakabere holiday entunda ya gatano toko chakalero kurulero mpaka Friday na ndi twale the week after next week igotora Twin Towers 4th floor room 405 tubwate program for 3 days and another 3 days abana togutwara murabure yo riko abana bale preteens na teens igo chakire miaka 8 mpaka miaka 19 abuna bana togo somia ingo sababa boli ngati gatunyora liba tikatoligeria abana mabagasi bagosoma mabaga bana tubwate alia ita wellness
pesa maganda ningira kwa na bojanisi arabuna ikyombgerwa tena chat with Dr.
Meg.
Sawa. Quando te grave ngigeo kora lakini kuna bana mchichechi nga kyujiroji.
Gen Z na onyenje nimbato mo Gen Z. Babere kwanza. Umaite bao chakera I think 10 years to around 29 or 26. So Gen Z are justified in their quest. Ekiagera they are fighting for their future. Na indembaro cha our country is not doing well. Amangana corruption achire igoro mono. Amadeni tubwate na inde batebi we are going to pay until the third generation or beyond. Twabaruteira madeni aitu na mbaraja kanonye negasi. So mbari justified go speak out. After all, it is their time. Kogende street mambi, that is their constitutional right. The action of the police, if only they could be gentle, but konya kubarudira tear gas na kubahita, so that they can air their grievances. And most importantly, in my view, I think a president na bwene de gotegerera abanabo. Even if he may not answer, he may not do 100% of what they are saying, but at least even the corruption needs to be curtailed. The expenditures, jinde wutiari, employment, and so on. Abana bali below the age of 18, ababadu bali school must not come out to the streets. Although naboko yunga, some of them were killed in their homes, and that is really police brutality. But only those who are above the age of 18, who are now adults, if there is anybody using this Gen Z to push their agenda, that one now also is questionable. On the organization, it is called Chit Chat with Dr. Meg. And it is not just about talking, it is on capacity building, consultancy, mentorship, mental health, gender-based violence awareness. Now on the Facebook, on Chit Chat with Dr. Meg, on X, or say Twitter, Chit Chat Meg, on LinkedIn, Chit Chat with Dr. Meg. I am available to offer those services. The organization is well set up, and we are here. Chit Chat will focus more on conversations chiriabantu, but that I could bring to the table, which eventually blow up.
Gender twins,
no. Gender twins. Our youth, young women, men, all of them.
Yes, sir. Young as a daktari, ukibekora tutebi gorunga kiao Gen Z kusoka mambia, barobert kusoka, alafu naye boy child champion. Kaiwe kidikiringa kiao. Sababu na rojo monta kinera chiteli mokuigera bana murama twadana ke. Aro jede ko ba karwas abanya kabako bisan tawa munera ada ko bembawo ste kitke amanda bakala samai
Bijamon first of all Asia Gen Zs, I think I concur the other panelists. Gen Zs are speaking the mind of many Kenyans.
Yes.
In fact, abana bagana tubarochiskari, they are representing the bigger community of Kenya, the larger society. They are not speaking on their own. They are speaking on behalf of their parents, on behalf of their grandparents, n'abantabange. So ngabao kwa naskaria a voice ba kwiloro ne voice ya bantabange ba Kenya. Probably aguno into one of the news to affiliate. We present, we didn't present them, we failed to focus, but for them they are more focused. I think again we have another nightmare which is coming and which is really a big challenge. I feel strongly opposition, to let it down. I'm sorry to say this, but it's letting us down. Because now they are speaking on behalf of opposition. To address some of the issues, I think Kenya Etaya. Back to the boy child. Boy child issue, so pertinent, it is affecting each family. Lakini ekeneke mangana kelinga chi family nyingi chigino etebaro chinga bo basumu murano murai no musacha ya etete, and that is why abamuraba resulted to what Dr. Magdalene said here. Abantu bakwenda to drugs, abantu bagenda to these games, betting, among other things, a vital really of great help. And finally, ultimately, the effect of not supporting a boy child. tuanyole bono issues ya gender-based violence chile very high. Now they are going to be high. Actually, if things will not change, ngonya ntuyo chikoba sensitive about the boy child. As Toroch which was you, marriage is going to be on contract.
Okay, mangala makogo sana. Kwa kati tuko rasa libro biatu jadi biarire lakini ndio ndo kwa tenga ya Mario na bo kwa hiyo kwa ndinga ya Mario tukole na Dr. Magna ndio kwa ndio mwana mkiwa kwa tukoro lakini mwenyure na wisara hii kisema yara berege kwa usisa because naturally kero kore na bo kwa na kiroje asasa mwenye kisema yako kero kore ningana ya Mario kai
Mbia mwana sana.
Na minute.
Mbia mwana sana. Nchakira sa mangane semi. Education ministry is very sensitive. Tiga nkubagane wish mugambi migosi the best. Kerago soa so mugambi. Tiga nyore ubungaini bulia bwanta kutwara na ndanyore ga consult widely, especially progress ya CBC program. Mchanda nora wa buli complain bale sana about now grade 9. Ego ne ministry is very sensitive. Ntwara university school fees kere igoro sana. Igotoko sabanga tiga area mone serikali banyare ko bakonyora solutions chire sustainable ase tsemi cheto. Ngokolera ngoteba iga. Naboko butukurwega siendeyons. Lakini ntoko butukobo moibuli. Sengencho ene egasi yagwere lifelong. Lero Brighton munora nabokurwa mambi. Ogenda asando sira agenda. Lakini mnokuru oraso gochinga mwabo utambe igotika tutebenga timbu at time nayo go create onyare ko bomabuli ro moronge onyare ko kinie family yago senchirere ndonge kinie abantu baga senchirere ndonge
yes
ena teba tindu et details che program yeto in terms of contact ndole Facebook Twitter Facebook LinkedIn na Facebook na LinkedIn at Ether Wellness Center. Matokoro kwa Etaya Wellness Center ni kora nganjire ndwe namba
naboko nyirwa karwe namba ina minute
ondenyo no mobile
seconds because this is your chair
ondenyo no mobile taite ko reach out naboko to reach out on 0715 204 210 0715 204 210 bia mwana sana
yes Dr. Gordon iringa ya Mario gatokore sali bia rengo gurwe kengere kurumena ni kweli kweli
Mbia mono Brighton about tenga parenting tebo ati manual as a parent you have to figure out na kyo korega asiyi nae wasabete na indo kaewo mwana but I would say communication is very important tobo mobolio unaboko ba absent a few times toko bororo 100% but percentage iri okonyora time ko bororo mbu yakoba candid no mwano onje tubo ati besa go say you're going through some tough time explain eri mwananga it is tough for me but I am making ends meet for you whatever happens we are in this together abana bangaini and they understand and they love their parents very much mbiamona
thank you Dr. in a minute because she's in the same seconds montage ya nebyo
mbiyamono agakiwali comment asinini
just 1 minute
okay thank you as a ministry of education actually I've known Mheshimiwa Migoso Gamba for a long period of time kuwemana politics and all that I know he's capable to the task and even when he was addressing the issues he faced that ministry during the interview you could see that he understands what he's going to do me I know he's capable he's going to do the good job and again it does not mean that nothing much has been done by the former CS. He did a wonderful job. It's one of the ministries that is so challenging and people have really had a lot of difficulties, but they have really worked well. I know no president ya ira netugusi esengenjo abagusi by manage Burundi. Dingana ria ndio mwali. I wish na what space ire nake egere demonstrate. Abaiburi atoire embege yikurukumwana. Omwana twamakuru twamwigura twamuretense ekero twamuretense twamubeka agari asale oso gosokia mato amaya kapisa gosoka kurunse bya kapisa tukumurwanira kinga kitanda twamakuru tweka twamutiga twagenda twachikuriye kwamenya ko wachikuriye amaje wachikuriye ugoyo binde byose uko biri kwanya kubireta kwanya kubeka kandi tweba gochikie kemerike likiao ora goseli konde dia kelite kwanya kinga kindi wache kwanya ali konde dia so yateime already dia kelire uko ribuskwari butolera ime tuikuri buskurongi nandi kwamenya ko wachikuriye
bone to kurigio guoyo butoleta amaje tolete bindi to kwekira kemeri eke na kemeri already kiari tuleri konde kase yitete kemeri kare kamuranje tiga to create time to be umwana mono kubwa kurigerio umwana oyo time
Biasa na ibiro bitu bierere kinitwa kwa ndamangi kwa kabonso bene kinago jira sinjira ya bene kwa twalenge na bwe baita stress mambia kwa twalenge na Dr. Walter Kibo is a boy child champion and is a senior lecturer as a university ya
Jomo Kenyatta
University kabisa na twalenge na Dr. Magdalene no ne gisana no alenge naitwe ndero moro kiali ase school ya Cardinal Tunga Boys ya kabisa ndo alenge na kipagende simambia boniga ne na kuna kwerde ya kabisa ande nigo akurire na mocharo bobo kero bwate muri igo ke muno machpere kero watu bwatia ekatobona tanya bitita sumuru video na tokobana Thomas Ngoto na Joshua Auta bonsi bakoreka byose byagokira sinyebe tubana ni tukuryango ase nsemeri yeri chiko tati robo kusiriane Brighton Makori